Well, you spoke this time last season, and well, you'd hope to finish as high up the table as possible. You're realistic in that you said, the ambition was to retain your status in the Premiership. You went on and finished fifth. Must have been beyond the wildest dreams, really, Whitey.
It was. I mean, I was asked the same question last night up at the launch of the Irish Premier League. Did we expect to do as well? And I'd been lying to say that we did think we'd do as well. But we had a great season, finished fifth, and now it's all about looking forward. Now that's in the past. We've got to work even harder this season.
Start of the new season's just round the corner now, and you're getting into your second season after a brilliant debut season. People always talk about this second season syndrome, but I know you're not that's not something you really buy into.
Well, I've never come across it yet. I suppose it's the first year we're going to, so the proof of the pudding will be in the eating at the end of the season. But I think it only affects you if you don't have the players, and if you don't have the players, don't have the hunger and the desire and the commitment to do well again. And these boys certainly have. You just have to see them in pre-season. And I think if anything this season, if we don't do as well, it could be a lot to do with the fact that the other teams have signed a few players and maybe they're getting stronger. It certainly won't be down to the fact that our players won't play as hard, won't work as hard, and they've still got the quality. So I think it's going to be a very interesting league this season.
People say the surprise factor's gone from Ballinamallard, but I suppose another way of looking at it too is there's no surprises left for yourselves now. You know now what you have to do and what to expect week in, week out in this division.
You're quite right. People chat about the impact we made last season. We can't make the same one this season. Totally impossible to do that. But our players now know what the league's all about. They know what the players are about. They know their strengths and their weaknesses. And we hope to put that to good work as the season progresses. And we're very confident that we can give a good account of ourselves this season. And if we retain our Premier League status again and get a good run in the Cup, I think the most important thing was overall that the club's got to consolidate and look to the future and make sure we're in this league for a few years.
You lost Chrissy Curran from last year's squad, but you've managed to hold on to all your other main players despite interest from quite a few clubs in some of your players. You've also brought in Richard Leckie to strengthen up front, and Cathal Beacon's back, and a few of the players who missed a substantial part of last year injured have returned. So you're happy with the squad that you're going into the season with?
I'm very happy with it. With a number of people in trial here, but they weren't really any better than what I had. Richard Leckie has signed him, and he'll score goals. If he's not scoring goals, he's going to create opportunities for other people. Also Cathal Beacon's returned to the club, a quality player. Players like Dwayne McManus, who come here at Christmas, wasn't really in good condition, and I asked him I basically told him, that the pre-season was up to him to prove to me he deserved to get a contract here, and he's looked fantastically fit in training. He's got the quality, and so he's added something to the table as well. Stuart Hutchison, I should say, and Mark McConkey back from injury. And then you've got the likes of Nathan Cashel, who's come through in pre-season and could be a bit of a gem this season if he applies himself. And then you've obviously got John Curry, who came through at the end of last season. So I think we've basically, in many respects, it's like 6 or 7 new signings, to be honest.
And you mentioned a couple of the younger players there that come in, and this club needs young players. That's a necessity for Ballinamallard, and it's something that that's what you set out to do, bring players through the structures. And how important is that conveyor belt for you?
It's absolutely vital, because we've held on to a number of players this season, and it's not been negative. Maybe we'll not hold on to them in the future, and it's important that we've got young players to come in behind that. The players have stayed on. We want to try and do something the next couple of seasons and try and stabilise the club, and it's important at the same time that when those players are here, that the younger players have been bled through the reserve team like they were last year through John, and then hopefully through the under-18s through Ray Sanderson. So it's vitally important. It's the bedrock of what we do here, and it's really got us where we are today, so it has to be right for the future.
And those players too that are coming through the under-18s and the reserves, they're seeing a lot of these players here have done the same, so if they're performing, they will get their chance.
Absolutely. John Curry's a good example. Last season was away in America, came back at Christmas, played a couple of games for me out of the 3 games at the end of the season, and he was magnificent, and everybody's talking about him, so he's a bright future. Stuart Hutchison's still only 21. So and a lot of young clubs coming through there as well. Nathan Cashel says only 22. So a lot of young fellas there, and there's more coming through the ranks as well. I think in the next year or two they'll get their opportunity as well.
Saturday you're hosting Crusaders here, a team maybe it didn't get the best results against last year, but you're looking forward to this season getting underway again.
We're delighted that we're at home in our first game. You probably don't get much of a tougher game, bar Cliftonville obviously. Crusaders are an excellent side. Since they beat us in the Irish Cup, we lost them 4 times. And since that in the league, we just never seemed to get anything out of the games against them. A couple of very close games last season. So but we're at home. The boys are buzzing. Just hopefully the home crowd will get behind us as normal. And if we get somewhere this game, I'd be delighted, because they're a good side and they have aspirations to challenge for the league this season.
And as I asked you at this time last year, hopes for the season, Whitey?
Well, I was asked that last night as well. I mean, I suppose hopes last season were to avoid relegation and finish as high as possible. You know, certainly we'd like to have a good competitive season, and if we could get a top 6 finish, you know, let's be honest about it, that'd be incredible. That'd be 2 top 6 finishes with nobody even with countenance last season. Good run in the cup, and hopefully get a few young players coming through the system. And if we do that, then Ballinamallard will have had a successful season.